Hello, everyone, and welcome to The Explainer. You know that moment when you're out and about, maybe shopping, and you see something with a fantastic color. You really want to compliment the person, but you also want to ask, hey, what color is that? Well, how do you do that in Mandarin? Today, we're going to do a deep dive into one simple but really powerful phrase that lets you do exactly that.
So, how do we ask about the color of something? Now, on the surface, it seems like a pretty simple question, right? But in Mandarin, the word order can feel a little backwards at first glance. But don't you worry, we're going to treat this like a fascinating linguistic puzzle. We're going to take it apart, piece by piece, and I promise you, by the end of this, it's going to feel completely natural. Okay, let's dive right in. Before we start deconstructing anything, let's just look at the finished product. It's always a good idea in language learning to see our goal right from the very start. It gives us a clear destination, a framework for everything we're about to analyze. This is the sentence we're aiming to master.
And here it is, our target phrase. 你穿什么颜色的衣服? Now, as your professor, I want us to really focus on the pronunciation and the tones. Let's try it very slowly together. First, we have ni. Feel that dip? That's the third falling rising tone. Then chuan, high and flat, first tone. Then shenma. That's a rising second tone followed by a light neutral tone. Then yanse, a rising second tone and then a sharp falling fourth tone. Then the little duh, super soft, neutral. And finally, ifu, a high first tone and a rising second. I know, it feels like a lot of moving parts right now, but just stick with me. You're about to see how every single one of these sounds has a perfectly logical role to play.
So, what does this translate to? In everyday English, it just means what color is your clothing. But, and this is so important, to really get the Mandarin grammar, we have to look at a more literal word-for-word translation. And that would be, you wear what color's clothing? Did you catch that? The question part, what colors? It's slammed right into the middle of the sentence. It's not at the beginning like we're used to in English. And that right there is the fundamental difference, and it's the main puzzle we're here to solve today.
So, how do we build this thing? Well, let's start at the beginning, with the foundational elements, the key vocabulary. Once we really understand these core words, these building blocks, putting the whole sentence together is going to be so much more intuitive.
First up, we have ni, pronounced ni. Again, feel that third tone, that little dip, ni. This is the informal pronoun for you, and it's perfect for asking a friend or someone in a casual setting. Functionally, it's the subject of our sentence, the person we're talking to. Simple, direct, and just like in English. Next, we have our verb, chuan, pronounced chuan. Really listen to that high, flat first tone, chuan. This means to wear. But here's a crucial detail for you, students. It's used specifically for items you put on your body, like shirts, pants, a coat. If you wanted to talk about accessories like a hat, glasses, or even a scarf, you'd actually use a totally different verb, dai. Dai. So far, though, the structure is tracking with English. You wear, which is ni chuan, pretty straightforward.
And the last piece of our core vocabulary puzzle is fu, pronounced fu. This is our noun for clothing in a general sense. Let's practice those tones again. A high, flat first tone on e and a nice rising second tone on fu. This is the object of the sentence. It's the thing being worn. So now we have our main pillars, right? You wear clothing. Ni chuan fu.
Okay, now for the really fun part. Let's pull out just the question phrase itself, the what color part. This is the absolute heart of our sentence, and this is where the unique logic of Mandarin grammar really starts to shine.
The word for color is yanse, pronounced yanse. And what's so fascinating here from a linguistic perspective is that the characters themselves tell a story. The first character, yan, can actually refer to one's face or their facial expression. The second character, se, means color or look. So when you put them together, you get this beautiful concept for color. Just learning this one word opens up a whole universe of questions you can ask.
And check out how beautifully logical this is. To ask what color, you simply take the word for what, which is shema, and you take the word for color, yanse, and you just snap them together, shema yanse. This isn't some one-off trick. This is a core pattern in Mandarin. If you want to ask what kind of X, you almost always just say shema plus that noun. Want to ask what book? It's just shema shu. See? It's a wonderfully simple and direct system.
All right, class, we've analyzed all our components. We have our subject, our verb, our object, and our question phrase. Now it's time for the synthesis. Let's see exactly how Mandarin grammar arranges these pieces into a perfect logical sentence.
And here it is, the final structure. Just follow the flow. Subject, 你, then the verb, 穿, then comes the description, 什么颜色的, and only at the very end do we get the object, 衣服. This is the key insight I want you all to take away today. In Mandarin, descriptive phrases or modifiers, in this case, what colors, almost always come before the noun they are describing. You don't say, you wear clothing, what color is it? No, you say, you wear what color clothing. You have to internalize that order.
So what is that little character the doing in there? This is a structural particle, and you'll notice it has that light neutral tone. The best way to think of it is as grammatical glue. Its main job, and its job right here, is to explicitly link a description to a noun. It's the little flag that says, hey, the phrase I just said is about to describe the noun that's coming next. The comparison to an apostrophe S in English is just perfect. It connects what color to clothing, creating the clear meaning of what color's clothing. This tiny particle is absolutely essential to making the sentence work.
So let's put it all together one last time, really appreciating the logic now. We have 你穿什么颜色的衣服? Perfect. See how something that might have looked really complex at first is actually just a few simple pieces, all clicked together in a very consistent and logical order?
And there you have it, a complete breakdown of the vocabulary, the sounds, and the grammatical structure you need to ask about color. So now the final question is for you. Now that you have this powerful tool in your toolkit, what are you going to ask the color of next? A car? A bag? A cool pair of shoes? The pattern is all yours to adapt and use out there in the real world.